Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube and have joined our tribe of survivors Post Narcissist. Be sure to click the subscribe button. Sometimes I forget to say that. But today I want to talk about devaluing and like the discard. A lot of us think about like what happened. When did this go wrong, or when did this start? And you kind of replay a lot of events in your head. But looking at it from the perspective of the narcissist is kind of what you have to do, because they're the problem, right? It's not us. It wasn't us that everything went wrong with. They orchestrated the relationship the way they wanted. So there was no such thing as, someone who could have done something to stop it from happening. So, the reason why devaluing happens is because the fuel that they require starts getting weak at some point in the relationship. They get so almost drunk from the positive fuel during the love bombing in the beginning of the relationship, and that's what they want. That's why they sought you out and captured you and roped you in so intensely at the beginning, is because you had such positive fuel for them. They were just drunk on it. And during the whole love bombing stage, they were just drinking it up, and you guys both were kind of loving it. You didn't know what was going on at the time, because at the beginning you were receiving so many things as well. But the reason why they start to devalue you is because they still need a lot of fuel, but they start doing things to get reactions out of you at some point in the relationship to get fuel, but it ends up being negative fuel. But they still need it, right? So it's almost as if they not necessarily start picking fights with you, but they actually start doing things that they know would irritate you, say, to get you to react badly, maybe in a situation, and or do something where you have to defend yourself, or react some way in the relationship. And they do this on purpose in order to start getting negative fuel from you. And that's when the devaluing stage comes in, at that moment when they are not getting enough positive fuel from you. So they're going to start doing things to start getting negative fuel from you. And the only way they can do that is to start devaluing you. And it's very much part of their process. Because as they devalue you enough, and then the negative fuel won't satisfy them anymore. You have no more positive fuel from them. And when your negative fuel starts running out, and as things start progressing, they're going to start looking for a new fuel source of positive fuel, is what they're always wanting. And so they're looking for new supply at that point. And as the relationship is going on towards the kind of end, they're getting all kinds of secondary fuel, because they need so much. They're so empty. They're such empty shells. And it's almost hard to not feel sympathetic. Like and I don't want to be sympathetic. These guys are demons. But if you think about the way that they're made, they need so much given to them, because they have nothing. So they're almost like, if a man's drowning, they always say that they'll pull their own child, their own wife, anyone down under to keep themselves afloat. And that's what they're doing. When they start to run out of fuel, they will do whatever it takes to go get more fuel, right? But it starts with that, almost transitional point of when your positive fuel has been drained, and this could be years into the relationship, and so they need to start getting negative fuel from you. And and I remember, like, there were times in our relationship that he would do things that just didn't make any sense, like to the point of it was ridiculous, and I had to protest what he was doing. And I don't know how specific I can get with some of the things that he was up to, but yeah, like he would just do things that just didn't make sense, like things that would waste money, and he would try to justify it, or he would, and I would just like, no, we're not doing that, stupid, it's not, and or make suggestions about things that I should do, either with the business or something like that. And it's almost as if he knew that it was wrong, whatever he was doing or saying, or things like that, in order to get me to argue with him or not be on his side on a certain thing, right? And they do things like that in order to get fuel from you, negative fuel, because they make you upset on purpose to get you to react to their actions, because they need it. And so, and then once the negative fuel starts running out, right, like you just don't want to fight anymore, so you start kind of going gray rock on them, and that's like the beginning of the devaluing. But it's this game that they play, to almost go back and forth. Like they'll go back and they'll do something like really nice for you after they've done something ridiculous, and they'll do something nice for you almost to the point where it doesn't really make sense. They're not saying they're sorry about something, they're just randomly doing something nice in order for you to do something kind of nice for them. It's such a toxic game that they're playing to their own rules, and you don't know what's going on at the time. You're completely lost in the situation, and you're trying to figure it out, even when you're in it. And the thing is, at the discard, that's when, like, because they keep doing good things for you to keep the relationship good. But when there is the balance of positive fuel, that's when they discard you, and you're at a loss when that happens, and they go off to new supply and they start their cycle over again. But if you're wondering, what did I do? Because I was always wondering, what did I do wrong in this relationship? What did I, and I, for a long time I was like blaming myself. Like I should have not fought with him. And because he left me because I was, I guess, fighting with him. And like, but the thing is, he did those things on purpose in order to get me upset, to extract fuel from me. Right? So it's not our fault that if they do something completely unrash and make us defend ourselves against it, they after the fact, you can look back and know that they did that on purpose to get negative fuel from you. And it was all part of their game. So I want you to, be happy that you've escaped that, because there are such toxic people that have to play these games that are, and it's always just about fuel. It's not about a healthy relationship or knowing people or having a family or a career that's satisfying. It's like them orchestrating their whole lives around needing fuel and finding supply. And I'm hoping that you all out there are doing good, after the narcissist. And if you're in that stage of being devalued, being taunted for your negative fuel, and you're thinking about trying to work it out with a narcissist, or not knowing whether or not you should leave them, if you're still in that relationship, you really need to get out. You need to find support to help you through that, to escape them, because it's not, relationships with narcissists don't end well. They never do. There's no such thing as a happy ending or happily ever after with them. You need to get away from them at all costs. Like, you have to cut your losses, and you have to get out. And I hope everyone there can find support for that. Thank you for listening and subscribing to this channel, because we're all here to support each other, because there's a lot of us out there, and I want everyone to know that you're really not alone. There's people that can help you, and there's a lot more education out there. So be sure to like this video, and I'll see you next time as we all move forward as survivors post-narcissist.